for me, frankly, I think of myself less of a conservationist and more of an environmentalist. And I understand that there are also developmental problems that remain unsolved. A huge fraction of the world's population below poverty. So we cannot be blinkered conservationists, we cannot be blinkered even environmentalists. We have to look at both the overdevelopment in the global north and the underdevelopment in the global south. And therefore we need a broader environmentalism that looks at all these questions together and therefore defines a future which is about the entire population living in dignity. And dignity will include having nature in their backyards, in other accessible places, in different ways in which that they spiritually relate to that nature. So that's my definition of overall success. I don't think we can isolate conservation success as a separate category. So I think we'll have to look at two levels of change. One is, I would say, internal as in within the environmental movement of which conservation is a part. And I think there really we need to see conservation opening out to a broader idea of environmentalism, which looks at how conservation affects others in terms of, let's say, when people have to be resettled for creating protected areas, so sort of fortress conservation being part of the problem, and therefore embracing questions of equity, justice, long-term sustainability, and development, people's needs, at least basic needs, as part of their notion of a good society. So that's kind of an internal coming together of those who broadly are perhaps in the right side of the story, and simultaneously we'll all have to work towards the larger problem. And the larger problem outside there in some sense, but it's actually part of all our lives, is capitalism and fossil-based development. And I think there we have really to look inwards also, because all of us who talk about conservation are living highly consumptive lifestyles. And so unless we change our own lifestyle, but look at the root causes of both conservation problems and climate change problems, which is fossil-based development driven by a capitalist economy, I don't think we're going to solve the problem. I think the Biodiversity Revisited initiative, the way it's kind of framed, really made me re-engage with the conservation question, because I started out as a conservationist maybe in my college days and very quickly moved into broader environmental issues with dams, energy, forests, water, and so on and so forth. And that's basically what I'm working on these days, is forest governance and water governance. But this initiative has made me re-engage with the question of conservation and sort of look at it from an insider-outsider perspective. And I think the engagement with the larger set of people who contributed background papers and the discussions that are ongoing right now in this workshop really tell me that there is a lot of openness to this idea of a broader notion of conservation, which is just, which is sustainable, which is also accommodating genuine development needs and looking at degrowth.